Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, welcome to a brand new video focusing on the Thor synergy with Silver Centurion and as well the beautiful Odin mix with that aptitude pre-fight or cross-fight. It's pretty tasty. Now I experimented around with this particular synergy and I'll be doing a little bit of a reaction to some of the footage that I took a moment ago, and especially talking about rotations, why I played stuff in a certain way and trying to get that lovely little perma-stun, which is quite nice rotating out of the SP1, but there are some SP2s towards the end and my god, they're pretty nice, pretty well stacked. So the synergy in question is here. First of all, we've got the mix of having Angela and Thor. Angela's in there because of the Heimdall synergy, and I can't remember if this benefits the Odin daughters as well as the Odin sons, but not just a +5 duration for each fight the team has one, so the buff duration, so my Furies are going to be increased exponentially. But as well, I'm not sure if I get this, but the +5% buff potency for each fight the team has one. I want to say that's more for Loki and Angela, so that's kind of like not really associated, but Angela's there in any case because the main reason that Angela's in there is in order to get myself a lovely little Fury buff, and the reason is I just want to increase my potency. Trying to find some synergies that work well with Thor, pretty hard to come by. There are ones out there, so I'm not going to say like no, there's not any synergies out there. It's just a case of finding ones that are indeed potent enough in order to improve said Thor, and it just, yeah, as I said, it's just not there. You know, on screen at the moment we've got some examples of these particular synergies. The ones I tried, the cap one, that just increases the duration of your buffs, which essentially that synergy we've just discussed does, and the rest of the others don't really add much to the champion, so I'm like, well, there's not really much point. So there's not been anything for OG Thor. That's been sad really, because that champion back in the day prior to 12.0 he was a pretty big machine with damage, armor break, stacking and armor break with kind of the potency of Furies meant that you were just doing exponential amounts of damage, really kind of like tasty and spicy numbers. But in any case, back to the main scheme of things, and that is what we're going to be sorting out with this right here. And that is the synergy. The synergy is indeed rather nice. If you look to build up some special attacks and rotate, but as well, every time I throw a special attack, I do a shock debuff, which is going to be good, but it inflicts 40% of attack over 8 seconds, which actually isn't that good. It wasn't as good as I maybe thought, but I think like I'll talk about that and dissect it a bit more. Either way, I just wanted a good opportunity to break out some nice synergies, get a Fury buff with the Heimdall synergy, and smack myself in with the aptitude pre-fight that I get from Odin. So let's see what this does and see if it indeed slaps. So here we go. So I'm just going to talk about the start. The start point is really me kind of deciding like how I'm going to play this champion, and I think it was very early on I kind of went to myself, right, well, I'm just going to go with, as soon as I've done the intercede to grab myself the Fury buff, is then just to rotate around SP1s. And I was planning and aiming to get that perma-stun, which works really well. You can get a 5-hit combo if you do medium, or the dash, medium, light, 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 medium, and then go straight into the light, light, medium. It's just a case of like, if you do it right, I tried different ways. I tried like a medium, light, medium, light, medium, sorry, medium, light, medium, and then I went into a very much kind of like quick, because lighters seem to be quicker in like a punch, or kind of like it's more of like a jab, so to speak. So the like light, medium. So trying to remember some of these combos, especially trying to remember like things like Cosmic Ghost Rider. Remember, Rich, when you're playing Cosmic Ghost Rider, you do medium, light, medium, and then you do medium, light, in order to get the so it's like, okay, right. But that's in this particular situation. The rotations are key, but mainly to go from the point of throwing a special attack, so the SP1, and then going medium, light, medium, or light, medium. So trying to do those kind of like combinations, essentially, like, and just to break it down, like, before I kind of overcomplicate this more than it is, it's just a case of getting the rotations in so you're perma-stunning Has it happened that I've done an entire interaction perma-stunned on the enemy? No, not yet. There's probably about 1 to 2 special attacks that don't do it. But you can see the damage is, and this is the point now, we're going to talk about this, a bit further on in Realm of Legends, and I thought this is the best place to kind of like do it, to kind of discuss it. Because, look, if I say Abyss of Legends, I know of some people that have done Abyss of Legends with Thor. Yes, with Thor, I kid you not. But it wasn't exactly the most fun experience, and it did cost a lot of units. So I'm not going, hey, break him out and do Abyss of Legends. Not by a long shot. Pun sort of intended. But at least to showcase here, like, there's great numbers. Just look at the chunky crits. Look at the chunky amounts on those Furies. They're not the groundbreaking Furies, but look, this is a 5-star, a 200 signature, and it's putting in a good amount of work. Damn, 27k rotation now in the SP1. Man, yeah, the crits as well, between like 3s upwards of 7ks because we're on class advantage. It does mean you're going to see some numbers, and again, the rotation is just good. He is not exiting from that particular wall. It's just kind of like just right in again and again. And I think you can see a 35k SP1 in a second. And by the way, in the last fight, we're going to see showcase that was a 35k crit. That's very nice. So in this particular fight, you're going to see me using SP2. Bit different because I was like thinking, do I want to rotate around SP2s? Kind of, but the SP1 rotation is a little bit more quicker, and as well I can keep it up more. So there's good damage that's going in any case, and you can see there. The shock damage, just talking about that quickly, it's not super potent, but it's still great to have it there as a consistency. If Kabam ever looked to kind of improve Thor, the OG Thor, where a lot of damage potential, then that would be something. However, I don't think that would be the case, and I probably think the Kabam will end up rolling out a different type of variant of Thor down the line, whether or not it's Thronebreaker, Stormbreaker, which I just don't want in the game, or it's going to be one of my personal favourites, the Yamborn version of Thor, the kind of unworthy Thor, or they're just going to go, screw it, we're not going to put another Thor in, but instead put in something like Beta Ray Bill, which I think would be a much better thing to explain the narrative of, hey, that's a Stormbreaker hammer, it's golden, it's a lot smaller, it's technically what he has. SP2 time, and boom, 43k. Nice amount of damage right there, and as well the armor breaks. Would it have been better to kind of rotate around the SP2s? Possibly, but at the same time, I just feel like I would have done 2 SP1s, which have gone 20k a piece, or maybe a bit more, especially, so it may have been a better thing to do that. Either way, I loved using this. This was a really kind of fun thing to break out my OG Thor, especially with him putting out the amount of damage that he has been in this particular interaction and play. But what does this really mean? Well, unfortunately not a lot. From an exhibition standpoint, this is great, and for a collection standpoint, because a lot of players do like to collect champions, looking at interactions with some of these kind of out there kooky champions that have some relatively good synergies, it does put your odds to go like, okay, am I going to take my Thor or any other champion into specific content? Only if a variant calls for it, and I think if there's something down the line that a variant goes, hey, if you've got a Thor, you're able to do this, and these buff types of stuff here, then hey, thumbs up, and that's great. It means you can have usage for that champion. Apart from that, there's not really any kind of practical use. There may be some instances where something like a stun vulnerability could be something of a thing to go, right, well, I'll do this, but the team isn't solid enough. Yes, the aptitude helps, but as well, if we've got the Heimdall synergy, that is indeed giving you another Fury buff. Aptitude with that equals big amounts of tasty damage. So, what is the real thing from this? Well, you know, you can use Thor in various different content, but again, it just boils down to we need more punch from this champion, especially with the current meta. 150 hits, 100 to 150 hits, which is exactly what we got from this particular interaction. Even with the last fight, 119, so that wasn't particularly brilliant, but at least to say that this champion can take down big hit pool champions in 119 hits is good. Would it be better if that champion had suicide masteries? Not in this particular interaction, because we're rotating around the SP1 and therefore you'll recoil, so it'll kind of feel like, well, it's not really worth it. So it's really up to the player as to their interest behind this. I just thought this would be a very interesting video to look at the aptitude buff, or the aptitude within the crossfight for Odin, number 1. Number 2, the great thing about this not having the synergy like Cosmic Supremacy or Beardo synergy, which kind of allows the progression and extension of buffs, which this synergy with Odin does. which is that one right there. Also looks at the Silver Centurion and the way that he is able to put shock debuffs. I picked Thor because I felt that he would be able to damage output a bit more. Yes, Thor Ragnarok might be able to do that, but the problem is, it's like, well, you need a full synergy around him in order to damage output a huge amount, and I just kind of feel like, well, similar thing for Thor, but I wanted to see what the aptitude buff could do and kind of put that into play a bit more. But either way, that has been the video. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure as well to check out some other content located right up above there. I'll see you very soon for some other content, so keep locked to the channel, and bye-bye for now.